Regina Neely. Now, some of you may be thinking, I do not recall a Regina Neely in Charles Dickens' story. I am not surprised. I am not in the story. However, how many of you have actually read A Christmas Carol? And before you answer, I do mean read it, not a synopsis or a shortened version or a Cliff Notes version. How many of you have actually read A Christmas Carol? To bring us all onto the same page, I must inform you that A Christmas Carol was written as a narrative. We, the readers, are being told a story. A narrator is presenting the events of a story to you. Or, in this case, to you, because I, Regina Neely, will be your narrator from time to time throughout this production. It is an honor and a privilege to take on this role. Now then, before we begin, I understand you have some devices that we do not have in 1843. Let's see, cell phones? They are to be turned off or put on vibrate. With that said, I take my leave for but 1 minute.
God bless our artistic licensing. Every one of them.
Who are you?
I'm Tiny Kim.
No, there is no Tiny Kim in A Christmas Carol. Besides, you are a male dressed as a female.
Well, hey, we're for John Travolta and Hairspray.
Marley was dead, to begin with.
Hey, on, that is pretty cold. Just so blunt. Molly was dead.
Who are you?
Molly!
Molly?
Molly!
Jacob?
Huh?
Jacob?
Bob!
Huh?
Bob!
Wait, hold on. I'm talking about Jacob Marley.
Jacob Molly!
This is 1843. You aren't even born yet. Although, I must say, once you are and your music becomes known, it is a great contribution to the music world.
Thank you, man. Well, I guess I'll just be going back to where it is I go back to. Bye, Mon.
Bye, Paul. 5 minutes into the show and we still haven't started. Okay, one more time. Marley was dead, to begin with. There can be no doubt whatever about that. The register of his burial was signed by the clerk, the clergyman, the undertaker, and the chief mourner. Scrooge signed it.
And my name is good upon change for anything I choose to put my hand to. Marley was as dead as a doornail.
I don't mean to say that I know of my own knowledge what there is particularly dead about a doornail. I might have been inclined myself to regard the coffin nail as the deadliest part of the ironmongery in the trade.
Even a hangnail.
Enough! Doornail, coffin nail, hangnail. It does not matter. Marley was dead.
Scrooge knew he was dead? Oh, of course he did. They had been partners for, I do not know how many years. Scrooge was Marley's sole assign, sole executor, sole residuary legatee, sole friend, and sole mourner. Scrooge was not so dreadfully cut up by the sadness. He was an excellent man on the very day of the funeral. The mention of Marley's funeral brings me back to the point from which I started. Marley was dead.
Of course Marley was dead. You know it. They know it. They know it. I know it. Marley was dead.
Excuse me. Marley being dead must be distinctly understood, or nothing wonderful can come of the story we are about to relate. So, Marley was dead, to begin with.
Happy Christmas, Uncle, and God save you.
Bah! Hum!
Christmas? A humbug? You don't mean that, I'm sure.
I do. Happy Christmas. What right do you have to be happy? What reason do you have to be happy? You're poor enough.
What right do you have to be morose? What reason you have to be a dimwit? You're rich enough.
Bah! Humbug!
Don't be cross.
What else can I be when I live in a world of fools such as this? Happy Christmas. Out upon happy Christmas. What is Christmas time for you but for spending bill with money you have not? A time for finding yourself a year older, but not a penny richer. A time for balancing your books and having every item in them through a round dozen of mouths proven dead against you. If I could walk my wheel, every idiot with the words Happy Christmas upon his lips should be boiled in his own pudding and buried with a stake of holly through his heart. He should!
Wow, the imagery. Uncle.
Nephew, keep Christmas in your own way and let me keep it in mine.
But you don't keep it.
Let me leave it alone then. Much good it may do you, much good it has ever done you.
I dare say there are many things in which I might have to derive good, by which I have not profited Christmas from the rest. I am sure I've always thought of Christmas time when it has come around, apart from the veneration due to its sacred name and origin, if anything belonging to it, as a good time, a kind, forgiving, charitable, pleasant time. The only time I know in the long calendar year when men and women see by one constant to open their shut-up hearts freely and to think of people below them as fellow passengers to the grave and not another race of creatures on other journeys. And therefore, Uncle, though it has never put a scrap of gold or silver in my pocket, I say it has done me good and will do me good. So I say God bless it.
Bravo!
Thank you, Mr. Cratchit, is what I believe.
No, I mean bravo that you made it through the whole monologue.
Another sound from you! And you'll keep your Christmas by losing your situation. You're quite a powerful speaker, sir. I wonder you don't go into Parliament.
Don't be angry at Mr. Cratchit. It was I who spoke. Come, dine with us tomorrow.
I will see you.
Uncle! Why will you not come?
Why did you get married?
Because I fell in love.
Because you fell in love. Good afternoon.
You never came to see me before this. Why not give it a reason now?
Good afternoon.
Happy Christmas, Uncle.
Good afternoon.
And a Happy New Year.
Good afternoon!
Happy Christmas, Mr. Cratchit and whole Cratchit family.
Happy Christmas, sir.
And there's another fellow, my clerk, 15 shillings a week, talking about a happy Christmas. I'll retire to bed.
Have I the pleasure of addressing Mr. Scrooge or Mr. Marley?
Mr. Marley has been dead these 7 years. He died 7 years ago this very night.
We have no doubt that his liberality is well preserved in the surviving partner. My name is Miss Hollingsworth.
And you are?
Miss Smythe, sir.
It is at this festive season of the year that it is more than usually desirable to provide some slight provision for the poor and destitute, who suffer greatly at the present time.
Thousands are not of common necessities. Hundreds of thousands are not of common comfort, sir.
Are there no prisons?
Plenty.
And the union workhouses, are they still in operation?
Yes, still, I wish I could say they were not.
The treadmill and poor law are in full vigor then.
Both very busy, sir.
Good. I was afraid from what you had said at first that there was something stopping these in their useful course. I am very glad to hear it.
Under the impression that they scarcely furnished a Christian cheer of mind or body to the multitude, a few of us are endeavoring to raise the funds to buy the poor some meat and drink and means of warmth. We choose this time because it is at times when want is keenly felt and abundance rejoices. What should I put you down for?
Nothing.
You wish to remain anonymous?
I wish to be left alone. You ask me what I wish, and this is my answer. I cannot afford to make myself Merry Christmas, so therefore I cannot make due to idle people. I support the establishments I have mentioned, though they cost enough, and those who are badly off must go there.
And you cannot go there.
Many would rather die.
Then if they'd rather die, then they'd better do it and decrease the surplus population. Remember that line, there's a reference to it later on in the production.
Sir.
It is enough for a man to understand his own business, to not interfere with the lives of others. Mine occupies me constantly. Good afternoon.
Happy Christmas!
Happy Christmas.
Happy Christmas, ladies.
I suppose you'll want the whole day tomorrow.
If it be quite convenient, sir.
It's not convenient, and it's not fair. If I was to stop half a crown for it, you'd think yourself ill-used. Yet, you don't think me ill-used when I pay for a full day's wages for no work.
It is but once a year, sir.
Poor excuse to pick a man's pocket every 25th of December. I suppose you must have the whole day. Be here all the earlier next morning.
I will, sir.
Happy Christmas.
Happy Christmas.
Happy Christmas. Happy Christmas.
Happy Christmas.
Happy Christmas.
Happy Christmas.
Happy Christmas.
Happy Christmas. Happy Christmas. Silent night, holy night, all is calm, all is...
Off with you!
Scrooge.
Jacob? Ah.
Scrooge.
Jacob? Huh.
Scrooge.
Ah! What do you want with me?
Much.
Who are you?
Ask me who I was.
Who were you then?
In life, I was your partner, Jacob Marley.
Can you sit down?
I can.
Do it then.
You don't believe in me.
I do not.
What evidence would you have of my reality beyond that of your senses?
I don't.
What evidence would you have of my reality beyond of that of your senses? Oh, good grief! You can see me, you can hear me. Those are two of your senses, sight and sound. Why do you doubt your senses?
A little thing affects them. A slight disorder of the stomach makes them cheat. You might be a crumb of cheese, a blot of mustard, a fragment of underdone potato. There's more a gravy than grey about you, whatever you are. Do you see this toothpick?
I do.
You are not looking at it.
I see it notwithstanding.
Oh. Well, I am but to swallow this, and be forever the rest of my days persecuted by a legion of goblins, all of my own creation. Humbug, I tell you! Humbug!
Ah!
Mercy, dreadful apparition! Why do you trouble me?
Man of worldly mind, do you believe in me or not?
I do! I must! But why do spirits wander the earth, and why do they come to me?
It is required of every man that the spirit within him should walk abroad among his fellow men, and travel far and wide, and if the spirit goes not forth in life, is condemned to do so after death. It is doomed to wander through the world, oh woe is me, and to witness what it cannot share, but might have shared on earth, and turn to happiness. Ah!
You are fettered. Tell me, why?
I wear the chain I forge in life. I made link by link, yard by yard. I girded it on my own free will, and on my own free will I wore it. Is it patterned strange to you? When you have known the weight and length of the strong pull you bear yourself, it was full as heavy and as long as this. 7 Christmas Eves ago, you have labored on it since. It is a ponderous chain.
Jacob, speak comfort to me, Jacob.
I have none to give. It comes from other regions of Ebenezer Scrooge, and it conveyed by the other ministers to other kinds of men. Nor can I tell you what I would. A very little more is all permitted. Me, I cannot rest, I cannot stay, I cannot linger anywhere. My spirit never walked beyond our continuing. House marked me. In my life, I never rode beyond this narrow limits of our money-changing hold, and weary journeys lie before me.
For a ghost, he is quite winded. You must have been slow about it, Jacob.
Slow?
7 years dead, traveling all the time.
The whole time, no rest, no peace, instant torture of remorse.
You travel fast.
On the wings of the wind.
Well, I can imagine you would have gotten over a great quantity of grounds in 7 years.
Ah! Oh, captives, and bound in double line, not to know the ages of the innocent labor by mortal creatures, but earth must have made tardy for the good which is suspectable of all developed. Not to know that any Christian spirit lurking kindly on its little sphere, whatever it may be, will find its mortal life too short for its vast means of usefulness. Not to know that no space of regret can make amends for one life's opportunity misused. Yet such was I, oh such was I.
You were a good man of business, Jacob.
Business? Mankind was my business. The common welfare was my business. Charity, mercy, forbearance, and benevolence were all my business. The dealing of my trade were but a drop of water in the comprehensive ocean of my business. At this time of whole year, I suffer most. Why did I walk through crowds of fellow beings with my eyes turned down, and never raise them to that blessed star which led the wise men to the poor abode, where there is no homes to which its lights would have conducted me? Hear me, my time is nearly gone.
I will. Don't be flowery, Jacob. Pray.
How was it that I appeared before you in a shape they can see? I may not say. I sat invisible beside you many and many a day. That is no light part on my penance. I am here tonight to warn you. You have yet a chance of hope of escaping my fate. A chance and hope of procuring Ebenezer.
You are always a good friend to me. Thank you.
You will be haunted by 3 spirits.
Is that the chance which you offer?
It is.
I think I'd rather not.
Without their visits, you cannot hope to shun the path I tread. Expect the first tomorrow when the bell tolls 1.
Can't I have them all at once and have it over with, Jacob?
Expect the second on the next night at the same hour. The third upon the next night when the stroke of 12 ceases to vibrate. Look to see me no more. Look that, for your own sake, you remember what has passed between us.
What are they doing, Jacob?
They seek to interfere in mortal lives, in mortal matters for good, something they did not do in their lives. Alas, they have lost all power to do so. Take heed what the 3 spirits have to say, Ebenezer Scrooge.
How?
Now, it is important to realize that Scrooge had gone to bed after 2 a.m. It was past this time when Jacob Marley's ghost had departed. And yet, the first spirit was to be expected when the clock struck 1.
That's impossible. I cannot have slept through an entire day and fallen to another night. It is impossible that anything has happened to the sun, and this is 12 at noon. Was it a dream or not? 1. The first spirit is to appear when the clock tolls 1.
Scrooge.
Yes, spirit.
I am not a spirit.
Oh, sorry.
Scrooge waited a long hour for the bell to toll 1. He waited.
1/4
And waited.
1/2
And waited.
1/4 to it.
Until.
The hour itself and nothing else. The curtains.
I love doing that.
Are you, sir, the spirit whose coming was foretold to me?
I am.
Who and what are you?
I'm the ghost of Christmas past.
Long past?
No, your past.
Your glow is quite bright, and it is very dark in here. Could you please put on a headlamp?
What? You're so soon put out with worldly handsome life I give? Is it not enough that you are one of those whose passions make for a hat covering low upon my brow, forcing me to do so through whole trains of years?
I do not mean to offend. What brings you?
Your welfare.
Well, I am very much obliged, but I think a night of unbroken rest would be more conducive to that end.
Your reclamation then. Take heed, rise and walk with me.
But, spirit, I am mortal and liable to fall.
Bear but to touch my hand. There, you shall be upheld in more than this.
With the spirit's touch, Scrooge could pass through walls, doors, time itself.
My old school.
Your love is trembling, and what is that upon your cheek?
A pimple, nothing more. Now lead me where you will.
You recollect the way?
I could walk it blindfolded.
Strange to have forgotten it for so many years. Let us go on.
Those boys. I know those boys. I went to school with them. Hello! Hello!
These are but shows things that have been. They have no consciousness.
Got you.
It's almost time.
Let's go.
This way. Come
My
on.
old school. Deserted.
Not quite deserted.
No, not quite.
You had a few Christmases spent here with but the headmaster and cook.
Yes, a few, but far more than I wanted.
Let us see another Christmas.
I know this day. Fun! Fun!
Dear brother, I've come to bring you home, dear brother, to bring you home. Home.
Home, little friend.
Yes, home for good and all. Home forever and ever. Father is so much kinder than he used to be. That's home like heaven. He spoke so gently to me one dear night when I was going to bed that I was not afraid to ask him once more if you might come home. And he said, yes, you should, and sent me in a coach to bring you. And you are to be a man and never come back here. But first, we are to be together all Christmas long and have the merriest time in all the world.
Look what the moon is, fans.
Always such a delicate creature. Human breath might be with her, but she had a large heart.
So she had. I'll not gainsay it, spirit. God forbid.
She died a young woman, and had, as I think, children.
One child.
True, your nephew.
Yes, Fred. My only kid now.
Do you know this place?
Know it? I was apprenticed here. It's Fezziwig. Alive again, bless his heart, it's Fezziwig.
Yo ho there, Ebenezer. Yo ho there, Dick.
Dick Wilkins, be sure. Bless me, yes, there he is. He was very much attached to me, he was. Dick Wilkins.
No more work tonight. Let's have the shutters up and the place decorated for a man can say Jack Robinson.
The shutters went up, the whole place cleared except for some tables of food and drink. Guests began to arrive, mostly those who worked for Mr. Fezziwig. A fiddler came also and began to play. There was dancing and eating and drinking and more dancing, Mr. and Mrs. Fezziwig being the most dancing couple of all. Scrooge was caught up in it all. It was almost like he was enjoying himself. But the clock struck 11 and this domestic ball ended.
Good night, Ebenezer. Good night, Dick. Happy Christmas.
Happy Christmas, Mr. Fezziwig.
Happy Christmas, sir.
What's a party?
I'm so full.
3 Fezziwig daughters look well tonight.
Yes, they did, but I have my own.
Fezziwig put on quite a party.
Quite. Food, drink, dancing.
A small matter to make these silly folks so full of gratitude.
Small?
Is it not? He spent but a few pounds of your mortal money. 3 or 4 perhaps. Is that so much that he deserves this praise?
It isn't that, spirit. He has the power to render us happy or unhappy, to make our service light or burdensome, pleasure or toil. Say his power lies within words and looks, things so slight and insignificant. Oh, they're almost impossible to add up. What then? The happiness he gives is quite as if it cost a fortune.
What is the matter?
Nothing in particular.
Something, I think.
No. I would just like to say a word or two to my clerk. Just all.
You wish to speak to me, Mr. Scrooge?
No.
You just said...
I know what I said, but you're not supposed to respond.
Oh, so you don't want to say a word or two to me just now?
No. Well, yes, but I will speak with you later.
Yes, Mr. Scrooge.
Even as a spirit, I found that strange.
You have no idea.
My time goes short. Quick.
It matters little.
No, spirit, please.
To you, very little. Another idol has displaced me, and if it could cheer and comfort you in time to come, as I would have tried to do, I have no just cause to grieve.
What idol has displaced you?
A golden one.
This is the even-handed dealing of the world. There is nothing on which it is so hard as poverty. There is nothing it professes to condemn with such severity as the pursuit of wealth.
You fear the world too much. All your other hopes have merged into the hope of being beyond the chance of its solid reproach. I have seen your noble aspirations fall off one by one until the master passion gained versus you. Have I not?
What then? Even if I have grown so much wiser, what then? I'm not changed towards you, am I?
Our contract is an old one. It was made when we were both poor and content to be so, until, in good season, we could improve our worldly fortune by a patient industry. You are changed. When it was made, you were another man.
I was a boy.
Your own feeling tells you that you are not what you are. I am. That which promised happiness when we were one in heart is fraught with misery now that we are two. How often and how keenly I have thought of this, I will not say. It is enough that I have thought of it and can release you.
Have I ever sought release?
In words? No, never.
In what then?
In a changed nature, in an altered spirit, in another atmosphere of life. Another hope is its great end. In everything that made my love of any worth of value in your sight, if this had never been between us, tell me. Would you seek me out and try to win me now? No.
You think not?
I would gladly think otherwise if I could. Heaven knows, when I have learned a truth like this, I know how strong and irresistible it must be. But if you are free today, tomorrow, yesterday, can even I believe that you would choose a dowerless girl? You, when your very confidence with her weigh everything by gain, or choosing her, if for a moment, you were false enough to your one guiding principle to do so. Do I not know that your repentance and regret would surely follow? I do, and I release you, with a full heart, with the love of whom you once were. You may, the memory of what is past half makes me hope you will have pain in this. A very, very brief time. You will dismiss the recollection of it gladly as an unprofitable dream from which nothing will be awoke.
What is that?
God bless our artistic licensees, every one of them.
Her again.
Actually, him again.
Whatever. Spirit, show me no more. Why do you delight to torture me?
One shadow more.
No more, no more. I wish to see no more.
It's Belle, years later.
Wait. Years later, as in the original version where she is married and has a child who resembles her young self? Or the Alice Sims movie where she is portrayed as unmarried and into service to those down and out?
I want to move from this place.
Good. I cannot take much more of this.
I told you, these are but shadows of things that happen. They are what they are. Do not blame me.
Show me no more. Leave me. Go.
Scrooge was very tired after his visit with the ghost of Christmas past. But that was only one down. He knew he still had 2 to go.
Ebenezer Scrooge.
Yes?
Ebenezer Scrooge. Come in, know me better, man, for I am the ghost of Christmas present. Have you not seen the likes of me before?
Yes, I have. Earlier. In a dress.
I mean like this. Have you not seen the likes of me before?
I have not. I'm afraid I cannot say I have.
Have never walked forth with the younger members of my family, meaning for I am very young, my elder brothers toward in these later years?
Have you many brothers, Spirit?
More than 1,800.
A tremendous family to provide for. Spirit, conduct me where you will. I went forth last night out of compulsion, and learned a lesson which is working out. If you have aught to teach me something, let me profit by it.
Touch my jacket.
Oh, the children will be so excited.
So you will come then?
Yes.
Oh, it shall be a fun day for all.
Well, I certainly hope so.
Yes, indeed. I just have one question. Do you think you'd be able to help me with the preparations? Maybe bring some oranges or
Well,
help me with the turkey?
I don't know about that. Have you seen my son by chance?
No, I haven't.
Well, I brought him to market with me, but he seems to have run off again.
That would be your
Mother,
boy.
may I have an orange?
No, son.
Mother, please.
No, go along. I do have a few oranges here, but they're a surprise.
Oh, you are so stern.
Is there a particular flavor in which you sprinkle from your torch?
There is, my own.
Would it apply to any kind of dinner given on this day?
To any kindly given, to a poor one most.
Why a poor one most?
Because it needs it most.
Spirit, I wonder you, of all the infinite beings in this universe, would crack these people's opportunities of innocent enjoyment.
I?
You seek to close these on the seventh day, the only day they are often said to dine at all.
I seek?
Forgive me, it is in your name, at least that of your families.
There are some upon this globe who may lay claim to know us, and who do the deeds of passion, pride, ill will, hatred, envy, and bigotry and selfishness in our name, who are strange to us and all of our kin and kith as if they had never lived. Remember that, and charge the doings upon themselves, not us.
I will, Spirit, I will. Whose home is this?
This is the home of Bob Cratchit.
My clerk?
Yes, imagine. I am, the ghost of Christmas present is blessing the home of Bob Cratchit, a clerk who earns about 15 bob a week.
What has ever got your precious father then, and your brother Tiny Tim, and Martha, once as late last Christmas Eve by half an hour?
Martha.
Hello, Hannah.
Hello.
Hello, Belinda. Hello, Peter.
Hello, Martha.
Why bless your heart's life, my dear, how late you are.
We had a deal of work to finish up last night and had to clear away this morning.
Well, never mind, so long as you're here. Come, sit ye down before the fire and have a warm, Lord bless ye.
No, there's Father coming.
Hi, Martha. Hi.
Hello, Father.
Hello, Father. Hello, Tiny Tim.
Where's our Martha?
Not coming.
Not coming. Not coming on Christmas Day.
Here I am, Father.
Martha!
And how did Tiny Tim behave?
As good as Golden better. He gets so thoughtful sitting by himself sometimes. He thinks of the strangest things you've ever heard.
Like what?
Well, he told me coming home that he hoped the people in church saw him because he was a cripple, and it might be nice to remember on Christmas Day we make lame beggars walk and blind men see.
Come, let's sit at the table.
A happy Christmas to us all, my dears. God bless us.
God bless us, everyone.
Spirit, tell me, will Tiny Tim live?
I see a vacant seat in the porch chimney corner, and a crutch, carefully preserved, without an owner. If these shadows remain unaltered by the future, the child will die.
No. Spirit, tell me the child will be spared.
If these shadows remain unaltered by the future, none other of my race will find him here. What then? If he be like to die, he had better do it, and decrease the surplus population.
See, I told you, I knew that line would come back.
Scrooge! Man! If then you be in heart, not am it. Forbear that wicked and cannot until you have discovered what the surplus is, and where it is. Will you decide what man shall live, what man shall die? It may be that inside heaven, you are more worthless and less fit to live than millions of people like this poor man's child. Oh God, he had an insect on the leaf pronouncing on the too much of life with his hungry brothers in the dust.
Mr. Scrooge.
What?
I'll give you Mr. Scrooge, the founder of the feast.
The founder of the feast, indeed. I wish I had him here. I'd give him a piece of my mind to feast upon, and I hope he'd have a good appetite for it.
My dear, the children's Christmas Day.
It should be Christmas Day, I'm sure, on which one drinks the health of such an odious, stingy, hard, unfeeling man as Mr. Scrooge. You know he is, Robert. Nobody knows it better than you do, poor fellow.
My dear, Christmas Day.
I'll drink his health for your sake, and the day's not for his. A long life to him, a Christmas and a Happy New Year. He'll be very happy, I have no doubt.
From the Cratchits, the ghost took Scrooge to other places. To a place where miners lived, who laboured deep in the earth. A solitary lighthouse, where two men helped to light the way of ships. A ship's cabin, where some of the crew had gathered. Each time, the spirit shows Scrooge the people and how they celebrate Christmas.
They know me.
The ghost told Scrooge at each stop. Scrooge knew this, and then...
Whose home is this?
This is the home of Fred.
My nephew?
Yes.
He said that Christmas was a humbug. As I lived, he believed it too.
Most shame for him, Fred.
He's a comical fellow, and that's the truth.
I'm sure he's very rich, Fred. At least you always tell me so.
What's the use of that? He never benefits us with it.
I've no patience with him.
Me either. More I, sister.
Oh, I have. Whoever suffers from his ill whims himself, always. He takes it into his head to dislike us. What's the consequence? He doesn't lose much of a good dinner.
Indeed, I think he loses a very good dinner.
I must say, it was a very good dinner.
Yes, it was.
I have to admit, my vote was for Papa.
Thank you, my good fellow.
I have in great faith with these young housekeepers, but you, Papa, you said it was good.
Alas, as a bachelor, I'm a wretched outcast, and I have absolutely no right to express an opinion on this subject.
Wait, Tom already expressed his opinion. He said it was good.
True. Now he's backtracking. He's a bachelor.
So?
He has a thing for one of Fred's wife's sisters.
Oh. Oh!
Do go on, Fred. He never finishes what he begins to say. He's a ridiculous fellow.
I was only going to say the consequence of his disobedience and not making merry with us is that he loses some pleasant moments.
The time at Fred's ended, although it was very enjoyable. They sang, they danced, they played a variety of games, and Scrooge was caught up in it all, almost as if he was there as a guest. From Fred's, the ghost took Scrooge to many other places, to homes, to foreign lands, to jails, hospitals, almshouses, and each stop showed him how people celebrate Christmas. It was a long night, if it were only a night, and although Scrooge remained unaltered in his appearance, the ghost grew older.
Spirit, you have changed, grown older. Are spirits' lives so short?
My life upon this globe is very brief. It ends tonight.
Tonight?
Tonight, at midnight. The time is drawing near.
Forgive me if I am not justified in what I ask, but I see something protruding from your robe and not belonging to oneself. Is it a foot or a claw?
It may be a claw, for the flesh there is upon it.
I swear it's a claw.
It could be a claw.
Spirit, are they yours?
They are man's. They cling to me, appealing for their fathers. This boy is ignorance, this girl is want. Beware them both in all degree, but most of all, beware this boy, for which upon his brow is written his doom, unless it be erased. Deny it, slander it, who tell it ye, and abide by your factious purposes, and abide by the end.
Have they no refuge or resource?
Are there no workhouses? Are there no
Spirit.
prisons? Are there
Stop.
no workhouses? Are there no prisons?
Ah!
Are there no prisons?
I am in the presence of the ghost of the future.
Yes.
You're not supposed to talk. You're about to show me shadows of things that will be in the days to come.
Yes.
You're not supposed to talk.
Thank you.
Ghost of the future, I fear you more than any specter I have seen.
You should.
You're not supposed to be talking. Why are you talking?
Well, nobody can see who I am, so I figure at least they should hear me. What are you doing?
I thought this might be one of those bits where Tiny Kim came out. Oh well. I know your purpose is to do me good, and as I live to be a thankful man, I will bear you company. Now, lead on, Spirit.
Once you're moving.
Usually, this is the part where you take a small child off your shoulders, and I follow.
Not this year.
Okay. Well, lead on anyway.
he'd never die. God knows.
What has he done with his money?
I haven't heard. Left it to his company, perhaps. He hasn't left it to me, that's all I know.
It's like to be a very cheap funeral. For upon my life, I don't know anybody to go to it.
I don't mind going if a lunch is provided. All the chance, but I must be fed.
Well, I'm going to the money from, for I never wear my clothes and I never eat lunch. But I'll often go if anybody else will. What I can figure, I'm not all sure that I was his most exclusive friend. Told me that he used to stop and speak whenever we met.
How are you? I am well. How are you?
I am also well.
Old scratchy brother done at last, eh?
So I was told.
Cold, isn't it? Seasonable for Christmas time. You're not a skater, I suppose.
No, something else to be done. Good morning.
Scrooge was bewildered about the two sets of conversations. He was at first inclined to be surprised that the spirits should attach such importance to conversations apparently so trivial. He felt assured that there must be some hidden meaning. Did it have to do with Jacob Marley's death? Well, no, because that was the past and this is the future. Scrooge resolved to treasure up every word he heard and everything he saw. He felt assured that the conduct of his future self would render the solution to these riddles.
Spirit, I know these men from which I have seen. They are men of importance, men of business. I see them here almost daily. I myself sit right over there. Funny. Should come to find myself in my chosen spot, yet I see myself nowhere.
Let the charwoman woman be the first, the laundress second, and the undertaker's man be third. Look here, old Joe, here's a chance, if we hadn't all three met here without meaning it.
You couldn't have met in a better place than this.
What the?
God bless our artistic life.
We know!
You were saying, Joe.
Oh, come into my parlor. Let's look at the items you bring.
What odds then? What odds, Mrs. Gilbert? Every person has a right to take care of themselves. He always did.
That's true indeed, no man more so.
Well then, don't stand there staring as if you was afraid, woman. Who's the wiser? We're not going to pick holes in each other's pockets, I suppose.
No, indeed.
I would hope not.
Well, that's it. That's enough then. Who's the loss for a few items like these? Not a dead man, I suppose.
No, indeed.
If he wanted to keep them after he was dead, a wicked old screw, then why wasn't he natural in his lifetime? If he had been, he'd have had somebody to look after him when he was struck with death, instead of lying there, gasping out his last, alone, by himself.
Truer word never was spoke. It's a judgment upon him.
And I wish it was an heavier judgment. And it would have been, you may depend upon it, if I could have got my hands on anything else. Now, take a look at this bundle, Joe. I'm not afraid to be the first, nor afraid for them to hear it. I believe we knew pretty well that we were helping ourselves before we met here. It's no sin. Open this bundle, Joe.
Take mine first. It's small and I want to be done with this.
What have we here? A seal, a pencil case, a pair of sleeve buttons, and a brooch of no great value. That's your account, and I wouldn't give another 6 pence for us both for not doing it. Who's next?
Open mine.
Some sheets, towels, two silver teaspoons, a pair of sugar tongs, and a pair of boots. That's your account. I always give too much to the ladies. It's a weakness of mine. And that's how I ruin myself.
And now undo my bundle, Joe.
What do you call these? His bed curtains?
Ah, bed curtains.
You don't mean you took them down, rings and all them lying there?
Yes, I do. Why not?
You're born to make a fortune, and you certainly do it.
Well, I shan't hold my hand when I can get anything in it by reaching out for the sake of such a man as he was. I promise you, Joe. Now, look at those blankets.
His blankets?
Whose else's do you think? He isn't likely to take cold without them, I dare say.
I hope he didn't die of anything catching.
Oh, don't you worry about that. I ain't so fond of his company that I would loiter about him for such things if he did. Oh, and you can look through that shirt till your eyes ache, but you won't find an hole in it, nor a threadbare place. It's the best he has, and a fine one too. They'd have wasted it if it hadn't been for me.
What do you mean, wasted it?
Putting it on him to be buried in, to be sure. Somebody was fool enough to do it, but I took it off again. If calico ain't good enough for such a purpose, it ain't good enough for anything. It's quite to the body, and you can't look uglier than he did in that one. This is the end of it, you see. He frightened everyone away from him when he was alive, to profit us when he was dead.
Spirit, I see the case of this unhappy man might be my own. My life ends that way now. Spirit, this is a dark place, and in leaving it, I will not leave its lesson. I would if I could, Spirit, but I have not the power. I would if I could, but I have not. You know the line.
What news? Is it good? Well, bad.
Bad.
You're quite through with then.
No, there's hope yet, Caroline.
If he relents, there is. Nothing is past code. There is such a miracle has come.
He's past that. He's dead.
Who will allow gently transfers?
I don't know, but for the time, we shall be ready with the money, and even though we were not, it would be bad fortune in the time. So much for the creditors. We make tonight with life, Caroline.
Spirit, show me some emotion that is caused by that man's death, or that dark chamber we left just then will ever be present to me. The Cratchit poem.
And he took a child and set him in the midst of them.
The color hurts my eyes, the best now again. It makes them weep by the candlelight. I want to show weak eyes to your father when he gets home for the world. It must be near his time.
Past it, rather. I think he's walked a bit slow these past few evenings, Mother.
I've known him walk with Tiny Tim the corner so very fast indeed.
And so have I.
And so have I, often.
But he was very light to carry, and his father loved him so there was no trouble. No trouble. There is your father at the door.
Hello, dear.
Hello.
Hello, Cratchit family.
Hello, Father.
Hello, Father.
You went today, Robert?
Yes, I wish you could have gone. It would have been nice to see how green the place is, but you'll see it often. I promised him that I would go there on Sunday. My little child, my tiny Tim.
Tiny Tim.
Hello, Mother. Hello, Father.
Oh look, it's the ghost of Tiny Tim.
Ghost?
You're dead.
Huh?
You're dead!
And you're not supposed to be on stage.
Oh, why? I'm dead.
My poor tiny Tim.
Child performers.
Spirit, I know our parting time is at hand. I know it, but I know not how. My place of occupation has been in this direction for quite some time. Show me what I may be in days to come. The house is yonder. Why do you point away? Before I draw near to that stone at which you point, answer me this. Are these shadows of things that will be, or shadows of things that may be only? Men's courses will foreshadow to certain ends if persevered in they lead, yet if departed from, they end. Am I the man who lay upon that bed? No, Spirit, please, hear me. I am not the man I was, and I am not the man I must have been before these visits. Why show me all of this if I am past all hope? Or show me that I may change what yet you've shown me. The past, the present, and the future, all three spirits will strive within me, and I will carry Christmas and try and keep it all through the year. Please tell me I may sponge away the writing of this young stars. No! Spirit, no! My check. My curtains. They're here. I'm here. I do not know how long I was among the spirits. I do not know what day it is. I do not know anything. But I do now know that I know nothing. Hello, you there, boy.
Who, me, sir?
Yes, you, what a wonderful lad. What day is today?
What's that you say?
What day is today?
Why, it's Christmas Day.
Christmas Day. Then they did it all in one night. But of course they did, they're spirits. I say, boy.
Yes, sir?
Wait a minute. Has anyone ever told you you look like Tiny Tim?
I get that all the time.
Oh, all right then. Do you know the butcher on the next block?
Yes, sir.
Good. Do you know if that prize goose is still for sale?
You mean the one as big as me?
What a marvelous lad, yes. I want you to go buy it, if it is still there.
It's still there.
Well, then I'd like you to go buy it. No, I mean it. Go to the butcher and tell him I want to buy it. Come back with him, and I will give you a 6 pence. Come back in 5 minutes, and I will give you a half-crown. I'll give that goose to Tiny Tim. It's as big as him.
Scrooge sent the butcher to Bob Cratchit's house, but he made him vow to keep it a secret as to who sent it.
Where's Tiny Tim? There it is.
How do I know who it is?
Wonder who sent this.
How do I know who it is?
Who, Tim?
Mr. Scrooge.
Mrs. Scrooge.
Why would you think that, Tim?
I don't know. I just do.
Scrooge also went about the streets and greeted people. There are a lot of streets in London. Really, they're all over at sea. It's kind of confusing sometimes.
Happy Christmas. Happy Christmas. Happy Christmas.
Some, of course, did not wish to see him.
Ladies!
Mr. Scrooge.
I was out of sorts when I saw you the other day, and I'd like to make a contribution to your cause. Say,
Mr. Scrooge, are you sure, sir?
Yes, there are some overdue contributions in that. Happy Christmas.
Thank you very much. Happy Christmas.
Scrooge continued to greet people and enjoy this brand new day.
Happy Christmas.
He even went to church, and that in itself surprised many people. At last, he arrived at the home of his nephew, Fred.
Hello.
Is your master at home?
Yes, sir. He and his guests on the dining room. I'll introduce you.
No, my dear. I know the way. I'd like to surprise him.
Who's there?
It is I, Fred, your Uncle Ebenezer.
Uncle!
Is your invitation to dine still open?
Come, look, it's Uncle Ebenezer.
Can you forgive a man for being so foolish all of these years?
Oh, Uncle, you make us very happy.
Scrooge ate and drank and even danced. This was definitely the best Christmas he had had in many, many years. The next day, it was back to business as usual. Or was it?
Mr. Cratchit!
Yes, sir.
What do you mean by coming in at this hour?
I'm a bit behind my time, sir.
Yes, you are.
We were making rather merry yesterday.
Mr. Cratchit! I will no longer put up with this. And therefore, Mr. Cratchit, and therefore, I have no recourse but to raise your salary. That's right, Bob. I'm going to raise your salary. And if you'll allow me, I'd like to help your family.
Mr. Scrooge?
No, I have not lost my senses. I have come to my senses. Now, we will speak details over a hot bowl of bishop later. But before you dot another eyeball, I want you to go out and buy yourself a new coal bucket. I feel so happy. I have no right to feel this happy, but I can't help it.
Ebenezer Scrooge kept his promise and kept Christmas better than anyone. So let us learn from his experience. And as Tiny Tim observed,